Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Tonight, the body camera policy at the Bexar County Sheriff's Office under the microscope after an inmate died this summer. Tonight, KSAT investigates why enforcing that policy is easier said than done. Plus, 4 restaurants with histories of high scores got lower health inspection scores, the violations that inspectors found behind their kitchen doors.
And a warming trend is underway. Not only that, some better news with the drought monitor. I'll show you the improvements in a minute.
This month, we're going to know the future of 19 schools in the San Antonio ISD. And tonight, parents and community members got one last chance to share their thoughts before the school board votes on its so-called right-sizing plan. The Night Team's John Paul Badajas was at the meeting. He joins us now live from the newsroom. So, John Paul, SAISD has held several meetings since announcing this proposal. Where are we at right now?
That's right. Tonight's meeting was the 23rd since late September. The district says feedback from these meetings could, quote, result in changes to the initial right-sizing recommendation. As for tonight, it wasn't the busiest meeting we've been to. However, the sentiments shared were pretty much the same as previous meetings. Those who spoke tonight say they want to keep their schools open. But SAISD says it's lost more than 18,000 students since 1998, and that's costing the district money. The district adds its current recommendations is based on student enrollment, cost per pupil, and facility utilization. People we spoke to tonight have mixed feelings on the situation.
They need counselors. They may be going through issues that they can't talk to their parents about, and we don't have anybody available full-time for them.
I wasn't expecting the community to be so strong and the teachers to be so one-on-one interactive with the kids, and it's something that we don't want to lose. It feels like it's getting taken away from us.
So the big question, what's next? SAISD staff said they will review community feedback from all 23 meetings. That'll be used to make a final recommendation to the school board. The board is expected to vote the same night, but we're told this is an all or nothing deal, and that vote is scheduled for Monday, November 13th. Stephania.
November 13th. Got it, John Paul. Thank you. In other news now, CPS Energy wants to raise your rates again, less than 2 years after that other rate hike. The city-owned gas and electric utility is scheduled to present its request to the CPS board and the San Antonio City Council next week. So here's the deal. CPS wants to up the base rate by 4.25%. And it says that basically is going to come out to less than $5 a month for residential customers. The last increase, as we told you, was in early 2022. And even at that point, CPS officials were talking about more regular rate increases.
I can tell you we'll need to come in 2 years from now and have a conversation. And then likely this 2 years from then, we'll at least need to put a placeholder in case there's still some work to do.
Okay, you probably have a lot of questions about this possible rate hike, and we have more information on that and how you can sign up to speak at the next CPS board meeting. It's on our website, ksat.com. Help for Israel. As the conflict with the Hamas terror group rages on, the House passing a bill today to provide more than $14 billion in military aid to Israel. Now, the GOP bill, though, has a long road ahead because that specific legislation would actually rescind funds that had already been allocated to the IRS. And it's unclear what's going to happen since Democrats say that the bill is going to go nowhere in the Senate. Meanwhile, President Biden wants almost $106 billion for Israel, Ukraine, Gaza, and U.S. border security. The House also approved a resolution condemning support on college campuses for terrorist groups. Now, here in San Antonio, dozens want the city to end its relationship with Tel Aviv. The Israeli city is one of 4 of San Antonio's so-called friendship cities. The city says that specific designation of friendship cities helps them to explore compatibility to see if the relationship can be upgraded to be a sister city. Some council members have shared their support for Israel during the war. Last night, people who say that they support Palestinians pushed city leaders about that friendship agreement. Governor Abbott, by the way, wrapped up a trip to Israel tonight. His office says that Abbott and Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt visited war victims at a hospital in Tel Aviv. And by the way, the governor is going to have at least one bill on his desk when he returns home. And if he signs it, Senate Bill 4 would increase penalties for human smuggling crimes. Those found guilty would face a minimum of 10 years in prison. Right now, the minimum sentence is actually 2 years. Meanwhile, leaders in the Texas House and Senate are facing off over a second immigration bill. House Bill 4 would allow police to arrest or send back migrants who crossed into Texas illegally. This afternoon, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick questioned that bill, calling it, quote, a Texas-sized catch and release bill. His statement specifically called out House Speaker Dade Phelan, who responded with his own statement. Now, Phelan says the Senate significantly watered down the bill, which he went on to call, quote, the strongest border legislation that has ever passed out of the House. Now, Patrick fired back on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, saying the Senate, quote, fixed HB 4. He went on to take aim at Phelan, saying that he could impeach someone faster than it takes to smoke a brisket, but questioned Phelan's ability to pass teacher pay or even school choice legislation. Now, school choice, also known as vouchers, is really a major sticking point for the governor. We have to talk about that because he says that he wants legislation on his desk by the time the special session ends on Tuesday, or he's going to go ahead and call lawmakers back to Austin for yet another special session. So let's talk about elections, because tomorrow is the last day that you can vote early for the November 7th election. Voters are going to see 14 propositions on the ballot that will either create or change state funding. You're also going to decide on a number of local races. It really just depends on where you live. To see a full list of voting locations and a sample ballot, just scan that QR code that you see right there on your screen. It's also on our website. Now let's go to your Nightbeat news flash. President Joe Biden and the First Lady are going to pay their respects tomorrow to those killed in the Maine mass shooting. It's been just more than a week since a 40-year-old gunman shot and killed 18 people before taking his own life. If you remember, 13 others were hurt, and there's still a lot of questions about why that gunman had access to weapons. You can read the latest on the investigation on KSAT.com. Schlitterbahn and Fiesta Texas will soon have the same owner. Six Flags is merging with Schlitterbahn's parent company, Cedar Fair. The $8 billion deal is going to bring 27 theme parks and 15 water parks in 3 countries under the same ownership. The newly formed business will reportedly keep the Six Flags name. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash. Now, 4 restaurants with recent histories of high scores saw their September health inspection scores really take a nosedive. The Night Team's Tim Gerber takes us behind the kitchen door.
Wing Daddy's Sauce House, located in the 10,000 block of Potranco, earned a 78 on their September inspection. The score was quite a drop from previous inspections, including a 98 in March and a 96 1 year ago. This time around, they had deductions for a walk-in cooler that wasn't working. They were told to stop using it until it was fixed. Clean plates had sauce residue, the ice machine had a black residue inside, and there was debris on the veggie peeler. There were several roaches and flies in the business that likely got in through a gap in the back door. It appears to have been fixed.
Okay, thank you so much.
I stopped by this week to see if they'd made more corrections, but the manager was unavailable to talk. A re-inspection was ordered. Thaw For You, also in the 10,000 block of Potranco, earned an 80, which was an improvement from the 75 they had last time they were featured on BKD back in 2022. The business had made improvements since then, getting high scores on 3 previous inspections. This time, they had demerits for storing shrimp on the floor without any covering where employees were walking. The ice chute was heavily soiled. A worker was touching food with their bare hands. Candies and teas were found stored next to air fresheners and toilet cleaner. A re-inspection was requested. Himalayan Kitchen, located in the 5500 block of West Loop 1604, earned an 80. They had a perfect score on their last inspection. This time, though, there were gnats in the business and on the lid of a bulk food container. The hand sinks didn't have soap and one was blocked. T-shirt bags were used to store prepared foods. The business was also told to stop using unapproved pest control chemicals. Taqueria Estrella Jalisco, located in the 8800 block of Southwest Loop 410, also earned an 80. During their inspection, shelled eggs were temping at 95 degrees. They were told to keep them refrigerated. Employees were using gloves but not washing hands between tasks. Another worker was seen touching food with bare hands. The inspector left a long list of items to be corrected by their next inspection. That's what's happening behind the kitchen door. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
Now, we still have a lot to talk about tonight on the Nightbeat, like lots of questions about BCSO's body camera policy after an inmate died this summer. Why enforcing that policy, though, is easier said than done. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Like many large law enforcement agencies in Texas, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office has a policy to release videos following what they define as critical incidents. Bexar County defines those in their policy as, quote, deputy-involved shootings, uses of force, and in-custody deaths. Now, per its own policy, BCSO strives to release that video within 10 days of it taking place. As KSAT Investigates' Lee Waldman reports, the policy, though, isn't being followed, but enforcing that policy isn't as simple as you'd think.
My family has been waiting for 58 days for body camera footage to be released. That's 58 days living in anguish and discomfort.
It's been more than 2 months, and Irene Mora still doesn't have a full account of what happened to her brother, Emmanuel Mora. He died August 27th, less than 2 hours after being brought to the Bexar County Justice Intake and Assessment Annex on a drug warrant.
Release the footage related to my brother, Emmanuel Mora, and any person who has died in Bexar County Sheriff's Office custody this year.
Her demands at the latest County Commissioners Court meeting prompted questions from at least one commissioner.
So, Larry, when we pass that footage needs to be released to the families within 10 days, and then we hear things like this, how do we justify that?
Well, Commissioner, I do want to caution the court about deliberating about this issue, but the court has this was a negotiation, but the sheriff is an elected official. So there is that. So I would caution about any further deliberation.
Let's take you back to when this policy was implemented by Sheriff Javier Salazar. On February 8th, 2022, Salazar agreed to adopt this 10-day body-worn camera critical incident video release policy. Commissioners agreed to give BCSO an additional $3.1 million and to extend the county's contract with weapons and technology company Axon, which provides the agency's body-worn cameras. This was in addition to an already existing 5-year contract for $6.4 million.
I don't think the policy's been written very clearly in order to establish any type of mandates or enforcement.
Peter Sakai, the Bexar County judge, agreed to speak about the policy generally, but not specifics with Mora's case. Sakai says there's state law that applies directly to the release of body-worn camera video.
It is up to the sheriff to decide whether this evidence is to be released or is to be considered confidential or is to be considered part of an ongoing law enforcement investigation.
The way BCSO's policy is written now, there's a threat of withholding funding if the policy is not followed. Sakai says state law prohibits that as well.
There's no real accountability with it. So what's the point?
Well, you're spot on. That means the legislature needs to address this issue.
Ananda Thomas with Act 4 SA, a law enforcement watchdog organization, agrees.
We need to implement laws at the state level, and we need you to stand with the family and show up with them right now as they're calling for justice.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Lee Waldman.
So we checked with the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. Mora's cause of death still hasn't been determined. It explained that this is an open investigation. Now, Mora's family did see video of his death on Tuesday, and they signed a form to keep that video private. You can find our previous coverage of the Bexar County Critical Incident Video Release Policy, along with our story on the death of Emmanuel Mora, by going to KSAT.com. Now, we're taking a live look outside. 62 degrees out there right now. Okay, still we have that fall-like weather. I stopped by the Pearl this evening, and it felt kind of nice. People still doing muertos. Yeah, those muertos things. But all right, when is this fall-like weather going to leave us?
Well, we're going to have a lack of humidity for a few more days, but it does return by Sunday, along with noticeably warmer temperatures. I mean, the warming trend has already begun. It's not going to be nearly as chilly tomorrow morning as what we had in previous mornings. I do want to start off, though, with some improvements in the drought conditions. I know we still need more rainfall, but this is nice to see. So we're going to start with the last week's drought monitor. And keep in mind, this is updated every Thursday. Notice that big dark blob in the center part of the screen, the exceptional drought. That is the worst category now. We'll jump ahead to today's update. And we saw a whole change in category for most of this area. Just one little part here of Bexar County, Medina County, Northern Atascosa County left in the exceptional drought. We'll do it again for you in case you missed it. Last week, 3, 2, 1. And this week. So some improvements, baby steps, as is often the case to pull yourself out of drought. In good shape farther south of town, Dimmitt, parts of LaSalle County, Webb County, eastward all the way to Corpus Christi. 65% of Texas is in drought right now, and that's actually a 10% improvement compared to last week. Of course, our reservoirs, lakes, they still need a good splash and drink of water. Canyon at 63% full. That's a record low at 20 feet below the conservation pool. Going forward, our weather pattern is going to be pretty quiet around here in San Antonio. Atmospheric river coming on shore in the Pacific Northwest the past couple of days. That's where you have the moisture. That's where you have the precipitation. Now moving into the Rockies as well. And we don't have any big features that are really going to help us out in terms of rainfall. So the potential over the next 7 days is Pacific Northwest and about the northern third of the country around here. There's the off chance that maybe by next Thursday or Friday, we could squeeze a rain chance into the forecast. But right now, it's not looking all that promising. All right, let's talk temperatures. 42 this morning, 67 in the afternoon, both well below average for this time of year. 50s across most of the state right now. Where we have 60s, including San Antonio, we've got some mid-level clouds that have moved overhead. Now, those mid-level clouds will act as a bit of a blanket for some communities, but also likely give us another stellar sunrise tomorrow morning. Keep your eyes peeled if you're out early. Tomorrow morning, right near 50 for most of us, the mid-40s as you get into the hill country. 46 Comfort and Bernie, 50 in Helotes tomorrow, Floresville and Nixon, 50 degrees. By 10 a.m., we're already up to 60, partly cloudy, a mixture of sun and clouds. Noon, right near 70 degrees. Then a high temperature of 74. We'll hit that around 4 or 5 p.m. And overall, that's pretty much average for this time of year. 76 is the average high, so we'll be just a couple degrees shy of that. But temperatures are on the upswing, that's for sure. Even as warm as 77 in Poteet and Pleasanton, 76 Seguin, Bandera 76, Kerrville 72 tomorrow afternoon. But if you want 80s, you don't have to wait very long. By Sunday, we're at 81, and then just about all of next week, we'll see high temperatures in the mid-80s. So 10 degrees above average, both with the morning temperatures in the mid-60s next week and afternoon highs in the mid-80s. Now, one thing we're watching for is our next cold front that could arrive either Thursday or Friday of next week. So check back for updates.
Ooh, looking forward to that, Adam. Thank you. I can't believe it, but this is the last Thursday that we're going to be talking about regular season football.
It's a crazy thing, but luckily we still have the playoffs to look forward to and a loaded Friday night football schedule. So stay tuned here on KSAT 12 for that. But yes, it's the last game for some area programs, and that means there's some meaningful football going on tonight as far as the postseason playoff picture is concerned. And the NBA's inaugural in-season tournament tips off tomorrow. Details and highlights straight ahead. We have officially entered the final week of the high school football regular season. First up, the battle of 3009. Top-ranked Steele trying to finish out the regular season strong, while Clemens needs a win to control its playoff destiny. We drop into a scoreless first quarter. Buffalo signal caller Nathan Alvarez on the keeper. The senior outraces the defense and dives for the pylon. Clemens leads early. Second quarter, Knights QB Chad Warner rolls right. The junior tosses up a lofted ball, and Jalen Cooper comes down with it. And to cap off the drive, it's Warner to Cooper again for the touchdown to tie it. And in the end, the Knights win 31-14. Continuing on with 27-6A action, Judson hosting New Braunfels. Clemens and Judson fighting for the fourth and final playoff spot, while the Unicorns enter the day a game behind Steele. Judson QB Elijah Favela hits tight end Davian Watson. The ball is popped loose, DeMorland McGarity scoops it up, and the senior will run it in for the score. Not the intended play, but it worked. This one came down to the very last play, and with time expiring, New Braunfels won it 37-35. An undefeated team featured in this next matchup. It's the top team in District 29 6A Harlan taking on 5-2 Taft at Ferris Stadium. Harlan quarterback Noah Ferris steps back, throws up a beautiful spiral, and Peyton Matthews is in the end zone to make the 35-yard grab, Hawks ball again. Ferris slings it to G. Ivory Graham, and he is gone. Taft put up a fight, but in the end, Harlan wins it 21-14. The Hawks stay perfect. More District 29 6A action. Jay squaring off against Brennan. Both own 6-1 district records entering the day. The Bears led 23-14 at halftime, and coming out of it, senior running back Jason Loves creates an opening, and he'll go all the way. 56-yard house call for Love. They'll go for two. Caden Glass gets the throw off with lineman in his face, and Brandon Wells makes the catch. The Bears roll on to a 44-14 win to jump Jay in the standings. You've likely seen these eye-popping custom courts and new City Edition jerseys circulating online as the NBA nears the start of its first ever in-season tournament. The tournament officially begins tomorrow and will be played on Tuesdays and Fridays. There are 6 5-team groups, and the incentives for teams will be cash prizes and to win the NBA Cup. The Spurs open up group play on November 10th against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. But first,
I think it's cool. I'm confused a little bit how the schedule works and all the travel and all that, but I know. I'm very interested to see how it works, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the courts, adding the different courts is going to be unique. It's something that's never happened before, and we're going to be the first kind of group to go through it. So I'm excited. And on top of that, if we get all the way to the finals, I get to go back home, so that'd be great.
Players around the league are really excited for it. All right. Tonight, the Spurs are wrapping up a 3-game road trip in Phoenix. San Antonio beat the Suns on Tuesday, where they trailed 63-45 at halftime. The rematch, Spurs off to a dominant start, up 75-55 at halftime right now, and Wemby leads the way so far with 20 points. All right, the Texas Rangers touch down in Dallas-Fort Worth with their new World Series trophy. More on that after the break. Last night in Phoenix, the previously ringless Texas Rangers knocked out the Diamondbacks with a 5-0 win to capture the club's first ever World Series title in 63 years of existence. Making highlight-worthy plays all postseason long was San Antonio native and Texas Tech alum Josh Young. The rookie third baseman registered 19 hits for a .311 average in 66 postseason at-bats. During the regular season, Young had to get surgery on his thumb, and it almost put his 2023 campaign in jeopardy. His resilience making the World Series win that much sweeter.
This one's incredible. There's no words. It's just wow. We did it. The journey we were on to get here, incredible, and then we finished it off.
Texas led the AL West for most of the season, but let the division crown slip away on the final day of the regular season to the Astros. The Rangers started the postseason at Tampa Bay, and after sweeping the Rays and Baltimore, Texas got its revenge against 2022 champion Houston before defeating Arizona in 5 games for the hardware.
Still an incredible win.
Yes.
I love Josh's story. That's awesome.
Yes.
And I love that he's local. We'll be right back after this. All right, KSAT and our community partners want to remind you to roll up your sleeves and get your flu shots. There's one more chance for you to get a free vaccine, courtesy of Bexar County and University Health. It's actually this Saturday, November 4th, from 8 a.m. to noon. If you want to register, head on over to ksatcommunity.com. And that does it for us here on the Night Beat. Don't forget that GMSA starts at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Have a good night.